Welcome to Extremely Valid Points.
We are three business owners and friends who enjoy practical, real-life discussions about business, marketing, and creativity.
Your hosts are Nathan and Jenny Sala, the owners of World Light Media, a digital marketing agency focused on helping organizations grow through online leads.
And Dave Wilkins, the owner of Ellipsis Production Co., a video production company that specializes in creating meaningful content for businesses and nonprofits.
We hope you enjoy today's episode. And along the way, we just might happen to make some extremely valid points. Welcome, everybody. Thanks for joining us for part 2 of this podcast. We are going to join in right now, picking up where we left off last week. Okay, so another reason why this video podcasting phenomenon has taken off is because of the branding perfection. And then I use the word perfection again. Branding. I better say authenticity. I think you like that word.
Oh, I love that word.
It's a more perfect word for you.
Yes,
But
I'm a Brene Brown fan all the way. So
your ability to position yourself with a video podcast, you can do way better with just being true to who you are. You know, people see, they see you, they hear you. It's way better than, seeing a video card with a business card with your photo on it or something like that to kind of get a sense of, here's what they look like, here's their job title and stuff. With a video podcast, you can really feel like you get to know somebody and get a sense of like where they fit into your life, if they fit into your life at all. And another thing is just that storytelling component of being able to share exactly, your heart. What's the heart behind, maybe a product or service that you represent, or what you can do to help people, or how your consulting benefits people. You can tell that story in a much more engaging way, wouldn't you agree, with video than versus maybe writing about it?
Yeah, I mean, one of the things I always think about video is it engages, many of the senses, right? So, again, back to the know, like, and trust, right? So if you can see that person, you can not only hear their voice, but hear their tone of voice and hear how they, what they're about. Basically, if you're allowing people to get to know you. And, even as you said, maybe they're not a good fit, and they maybe think like, okay, this is not – if you're driving away the wrong customers for you, that's not a bad thing, right?
Yeah.
And you're finding those people that are your audience and are the people that you want to be working with and engaging with, because the thing is, you don't have to be the podcast everyone listens to. You don't have to be the business that everybody goes to for that. You just have to find your people and serve that, as scalable as you can.
for sure. I mean, one thing we've learned over the years is there's people that we love to work with, which means there's also people we don't love to work with. But, when you find somebody who, has, we talk about it as our core values, like the same kind of core values as us, there's such a delight to do business with. And, you have that instant relationship, you have those kindred spirits, like you get each other. And those are the people we love to work with. And I do think that a podcast is a great way to kind of get yourself out there, get people like you knocking on your door. People who like you, you'll probably like them too, right? Mm-hmm. Hopefully.
I think the other thing too, it's, I find a lot of times when I'm listening to a podcast, you're engaged and you're just thinking about whatever the subject is, right? It just kind of gets the wheels going, and it makes you, if it's a good podcast and a good conversation, all good content, right? It makes you want to do something. It's motivating, right? And so because we're talking about marketing, video, creativity, business, because that's what we just naturally talk about all the time.
Right.
We're interested in it, right? And so it's kind of pushed us, and it continues to just push that, push the envelope, right? And to think, well, what can we do next? Mm-hmm. How do we keep improving and refining our game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I like that because when we started, we didn't say, oh, there's already a podcast out there that's about business and marketing and video and
Right.
creativity. We better not do it. And so if you're thinking about doing a podcast and you think maybe, oh, it's already been done before,
It has.
Yeah.
it probably has, but it's never been done with you.
Mm-hmm.
You have never made the podcast about it, and you have a unique experience. You have a unique perspective, a unique voice, and all of that really matters. And like Dave said, it's all part of the conversation, and we're just inviting you into the conversation, and you're listening to it while you're driving down the road. And we might say something that is, just part of flowing in the conversation, but it might trigger a thought that you had that's just, it just makes you think about something else. It stimulates creativity and it stimulates other ideas. And so that's kind of how it works. You're just kind of listening to it, minding your own business. All of a sudden, wow, I just had this great idea.
Yeah, and I think there's a quote, I'm not sure, well, maybe I've just heard people say something similar to this, but, don't strive to be original, strive to be authentic. So,
That's good.
because if you try to be original, you're going to fail. There's nothing new under the sun. And there's that idea of, it seems like a noble goal. Like, I don't want to just do what everybody else is doing. That's fine. But the fact that someone else is doing something similar to you does not mean that you can't do it or you shouldn't do it. But just be yourself as you do that. And it will be your own original take on something. So if you're just trying to be different, you may not be adding very much value. But if you are trying to be yourself, you will intrinsically add value.
Love it.
So what I kind of hear is, we started talking about like why podcasting is new and good and all the benefits and why maybe somebody should consider doing it. But then I think also what I hear you, Dave, saying is that don't be held back, and you too, Nathan, don't be held back by the idea that you have to have some groundbreaking topic or that you have to actually be like super charismatic or, like a really great public speaker or anything like that, because the reality is what people want nowadays, what people crave and what people relate to is being relatable and being human. And that's also why I think, making a podcast with your iPhone might actually work.
Yeah. Okay, so the next thing I wanted to talk about for the why you want to do a video podcast is because you can upcycle the content. You get so much mileage out of, this video, this audio. You can upload it to YouTube and upload it to cross channels, upload it to Facebook, social media, all these different platforms where you can get so much mileage out of it. Then you do
Put
the
it on your
audio
website.
version.
Don't forget, got to put it on your website too.
Yeah, the audio
blog
version
post.
can go to Apple Music, Spotify. So you're getting your content over you're distributing it across all these different channels, which is really maximizing what you can do.
Microdosing?
Well, I was going to say micro content. So
Yeah.
micro content is when you take your video and then you cut it up into like little sound bites. So
Hors
maybe
d'oeuvres.
Little appetizers.
with a little LSD sprinkled on top.
Oh my gosh. I don't know how we get on these tangents.
I don't know.
I'm embarrassed.
I blame Dave.
That's fine.
But yeah, so micro content is this ability to, you cut your video up into like little bites.
So you have one big video, and then from the one big video, you make little itty bitty baby videos that you can also distribute.
Yeah, clips, sound bites, little snippets, previews,
Prank reels.
yeah, bloopers.
We'll have to do one with all the LSD comments later with this one.
Oh, are you saying we're going to edit all those out?
No, we'll have a LSD video.
We'll make it all trippy. So those can be shared on Facebook and social media, embedded in a blog post. So you can take the video of your video podcast, transcribe it. It now becomes a blog post where you embed the video, embed the show notes, and then the whole transcript. That's great for SEO. That's great for everything you're talking about. If somebody Googles microdose LSD, this post is going to come up.
Right, but it's maximizing your output, right? Because it does take extra work, obviously, to then take these and put it on a different channel and chop it up and do these different things. However, it's kind of low hanging fruit, right? To be able to.
It's a lot of work to make a podcast, so you might as well get as much mileage out of it as you can.
Mm-hmm. And then there's the next level, which you can do, it's even more work, but on the topic of maximizing, you can say your podcast is about making a video podcast, just for an example. You can take it to the next level by on your website, you can offer some sort of content that people can then subscribe to. So basically you can grow your audience, get more subscribers. So they'll say, you can offer like, hey, download our guide about how to make the most out of your video content. And then it could have a list of like equipment you should buy and recommended brainstorming sessions to have before you get started. All these different things to help people who really want to get started at this. Here's what you can do. And then they go to our website, hypothetically, put in their email address, they get the valuable content, and then we get their email address.
Ooh.
This way, we send them a reminder, hey, our new episode dropped. Check it out. Mm-hmm. Or we say, hey, there's a new guest speaker on today's show. You want to see this guest speaker. It's great. Stuff like that. So you're adding value to people's lives. You're growing your audience. You're getting more people engaged and stuff like that. So that's next level type of content marketing. People are calling this content marketing 2.0. Video podcasting is being dubbed as content marketing 2.0.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Makes sense if you know what content marketing is.
What's content marketing, Jenny?
Content marketing is marketing with content. It means that you kind of talked about it earlier about today's consumers, right? Today's consumers are more informed than ever. Anybody who's listening has probably done this. You want to buy a new piece of furniture for your house. Why do I always talk about furniture buying? It's always my go-to thing. You want to buy a new, let's say we want to buy a new webcam. And so you have to research webcams. You have to decide which one you want. What are the products and features? How do I know the difference between a $500 webcam and a $30 webcam? And which brand is best? And what features do I need? How much do I want to spend? And so you do all that research. Well, if I'm a person who sells webcams, I am going to make myself the foremost expert on webcams, and I am going to make available to you the most valuable information, most unbiased information about web cameras, so that you can decide for yourself what webcam you want to buy. But while you're learning, you begin to build trust with me, and you see me as an expert, and you like me, and so you decide you want to buy your webcam from me. And so that's the idea behind content marketing, is creating great, valuable content that adds value to people and gives them what they're looking for, but also then you give this opportunity to build trust with them so that they might choose to purchase from you.
I mean, a lot of my purchases for video, audio gear, I'll always, try to find out, research, what are the features, pros and cons for some purchase I might be wanting to make, and yeah, I go to YouTube, more than I go to looking at all. I do, check specs and all those kind of things, but then often there's somebody that's, here's the footage and here's what I was shot and this is what I like about it and this is what I don't like about it, and listen to this audio from this microphone, listen to this audio from, you can. So, if you have a product, having, whether it's you are doing, putting out a commercial or a promo or demo or whatever, there's all kinds of different videos that you can put out about your service, but getting that in the hands of people who are influential, influencers or whatever, and just having, people to give their opinion, give feedback, and, if you've got a great product, why not have somebody, talk about it?
Yeah, that's a good point. Content marketing doesn't have to be you talking about it. It could be other people talking about
Yeah.
it for you. That's usually even better and more valuable, information because it's considered a little bit less biased. If you have somebody who's an expert but unbiased and they say, I tried this camera and I love it and I highly recommend it, and here's how it compares to all these other cameras, that's gold.
True. You can also overcome that by talking about your own product, by being unbiased yourself, being honest about, well, here's the downfall, here's the here's the downside of what I offer. It's not for everybody, and it's not for you if this, and that. So that builds trust with people, even if, like you said earlier, if you turn away people that aren't your customers, that's not a bad thing. And if you are honest, it builds trust, and that is a good thing.
Right.
Right.
So two more points that that I have on this, on how to get the most out of your content, is you can strategize and create evergreen content. So that means a few months down the road, or it's timeless content. You can use it over and over and over again. So even though you said it's a lot of work to do this, well, you can reboot the whole campaign all over again, redrop the episode or whatever, like a rerun kind of.
Yeah, right.
All of a sudden, you're not doing any extra work, but you're still getting more and more mileage out of this thing. Also, for sales, have your sales team, you can say, be talking to somebody and they can be like, hey, I have a question about this. You can send them a link. Check out this podcast. We did an episode exactly about this question that you're having, where we totally break it down. Just check it out. It's a great way to, help your salespeople bridge that gap.
It's great.
Yeah, that's great.
So there you have it. Any other thoughts about season 2 from you guys?
Just excited to get it kicked off here and have more guests on, continue to talk about some great topics. So, yeah, thanks, guys, for doing this together.
Thank you, Dave.
Yeah, I'm excited too. I'm really looking forward to it. I don't think I realized how much I actually missed doing this until we sat back down and started talking together again. This is so much fun. I really enjoy it. Hey, another reason why you should consider doing podcasting is it's fun.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
We
Hey.
didn't even... Jenny, thank you.
You're
Extremely valid point.
Slow clap. So, yeah, it is a lot of fun. We have a blast.
Yeah.
And then when we have guests on, too, that's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And it's great. This season, you may have noticed the table, although from your perspective, it still may look round. It's actually an oval shape. And we have a new table, new, bigger room. And then we can have guests in the studio this season. We've never done that before. So get ready. I hope you guys are ready. This is going to be excited.
Excited?
This is going to be exciting.
Awesome.
Hey, well, thanks for joining us today. We're so glad that you are still listening. If you're still listening right now, we really, really appreciate it.
Thank you for not deleting us or turning it off. You're still here. Okay. I feel like doing a Ferris Bueller, like, the podcast is over. Go home. Listen to something else. Sorry. Thanks, everybody.
All right. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Thanks for spending time with us at Extremely Valid Points Podcast. To learn more about this episode, see our show notes at extremelyvalidpoints.com. Be sure and subscribe to our podcast on Apple, Spotify, or Google Podcasts, or wherever you like to listen. Follow us on Facebook, subscribe to us on YouTube and Instagram at EVP_podcast.
If you need help with your video for your business or nonprofit, connect with Dave at ellipsispro.co.
And if you need help with digital marketing, Nathan and Jenny can be found at worldlightmedia.com.
or feel free to send us an email at questions@extremelyvalidpoints.com. Thanks again for joining us. See you next time.